What is up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to No Life to Metal. It's time for a rock metal update. That's right. It's time for a rock metal update. Going to be all 12-inch vinyl. A smaller batch of vinyl than normal, but I just haven't been buying as much recently just because, well, money. But got some new releases here. 1, 2, 3 new releases. Got some classic metal stuff here, and I got some hard rock stuff mixed in. So we'll get right into it with the first one. This is Hermann Pascal, spelled German, but Hermann Pascal. And the name of the album is Beyond Our Comprehension. This is fantastic European power metal. There's Herman on the back. Herman's got a fantastic powerhouse style of voice. He's known for singing in Narnia. Now, Narnia is known, as Christian Lildgren, I think is how you say his name, is the vocalist for Narnia. However, he left the band for a while, and Herman came in and took over vocals. They recorded an album with him on vocals, and that album is great too. Narnia never released a bad album, in my opinion. But I mean, he just came in and filled big shoes, and just got this great voice. But he didn't try and sound like Christian. He sounds like himself. Anyhow, this album, it doesn't sound like Narnia, but it's still great European style power metal. We've got 10 tracks here. It's actually I think it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's eight tracks. The album is actually 8 tracks. And then there's 2 tracks sung in a song called Perfect Harmony, which is sung in Portuguese and Spanish. There's 2 different versions of that on here. But anyhow, yeah, this thing's fantastic. This is a Rox Records release, and when I get around to doing a No Life to Metal update, I'll be showing this one as well because I actually worked on this album. I did some of the graphics, and anyhow, great stuff. Highly recommended if you like European power metal. Very, very good stuff. Next up, this one will be one of my albums of the year, no doubt. I can't stop playing this album. This is the new Coroner. 10 songs called Dissonance Theory. It's been decades since we got a new album from Coroner, but this thing is just superb. It's not real fast, and I mean, there's some fast parts, but this is not speed for speed's sake. This is just really good heavy metal with some thrash leanings. Kind of has a vibe not unlike Celtic Frost, that kind of sound. Not that they're obviously clones of one another, but it's got a similar vibe to it. And obviously those 2 bands have some connections to begin with. But yeah, this thing's fantastic. I mean, if this doesn't... It'd be really hard for me in November to believe that something's going to come out in 2025 that's going to be so good that it's going to knock this thing out of my top 10. Because I just can't stop spinning it. I think this is one of the best new albums of the year. So anyhow, highly recommended. New Corner, Dissonance Theory. This hype sticker says, after more than 3 decades, finally new music by Coroner. Brutal, precision, relentless clarity. This one's on a Coke bottle clear. I think the Herman Pascal was on a amber wave swirl vinyl. It's got the little hype sticker there. It's kind of it's actually kind of cool. It's kind of looks gold. They call it amber because it's got a slight tint to it, but I don't know how well that's going to show up on there. But it's kind of has this. It's very gold, but it's got this black swirls in it. It's really pretty. I just don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera. In any case, moving on. Move these out of the way here. I'll put this away later. Next up, this is a brand new album from Creeper from Texas. Another one. It will be in my top 10. Absolutely awesome modern metal. I don't want to fool anybody into thinking these guys are sound like they're from the 80s. Definitely not. They I've told people they kind of sound like a mixture of Overkill meets Pantera, and I think that's kind of an accurate vibe. The vocalist, he's aggressive and harsh, but he's not death metal either. He's just got this really aggressive it's not a scream either, so I don't know how to describe it other than he kind of reminds me a little bit of Kevin from Disciple, if anybody knows who Disciple is. But regardless, great album. I absolutely brilliant production. This thing sounds amazing. It was produced by Kerry Crafton and Sterling Winfield, and if either one of those names mean anything to you, Sterling Winfield recorded, I think, all the Pantera albums, and he was involved in, you know, the production of those albums. And Kerry Crafton's done any number of, I'm talking like hundreds of heavy metal albums. A lot of it was on Metal Blade, but he's been doing stuff for years and years and years. But these two guys produced this thing, and amazing, absolutely amazing album. It's a good, great picture of the band in the back. It's got a, if I can get it open, it's got a lime or nuclear or whatever color green vinyl you want it to be. There it is. There's the green. And then it's, actually all these have inserts in them. I don't know why I don't show them, but there's the insert with lyrics and liner notes and credits and whatnot. So yeah, one of my favorites of the year so far as well. It's getting rave reviews online. I've only actually I've actually only ever seen one person say they didn't like it, and it was a guy who really doesn't like much outside of, you know, after everything after 1989 he seems to hate. So this was not up his alley. But like I said, I'm not saying this sounds like 1985. This is modern metal, but it's very well done. It's not metalcore. It's not, you know, new metal. It's not any of these things. It definitely has its firm foot planted in traditional classic heavy metal and thrash, but it also has another foot with modern production and some modern songwriting. It's just a great album. All right, next up, getting into some classic stuff here. This one here is kind of funny. Now, I got this, and I might have showed it in another video not too long ago. A friend sent this to me, but this is the Back on the Streets Saxon 12-inch single. And it's got Live Fast, Die Young, and then Back on the Streets 7-inch version on the B-side. But literally, like a club, like dance kind of mix of Saxon. Very bizarre. You know, of all the, you just don't think of Saxon and a club mix version. I just find it hilarious. But I mean, this is around the same time as, you know, Def Leppard and Pyromania and Pour Some Sugar on Me. I mean, whatever the name of the album is that came. Not Adrenalize. What was the one called with Pour Some Sugar on Me on it? Anyhow, about the same time they would have massive success, and stuff like Pour Some Sugar on Me, and, you know, was getting dance mixes and was in the clubs, and, you know, I mean, the whole song was written for people to dance around stripper poles to begin with. So I think Saxon was, around this time period, was really searching and trying to break into that you know, American market, and that's what this is here. It's not a bad song, but yeah, it's just hilarious to have a Saxon club mix. It's just kind of silly. I mean, Saxon were like the poster child for new wave of British heavy metal in 79, 80. You know, them along with Maiden and Raven and all those different new wave of British heavy metal bands. But anyhow, cool single nonetheless. I'm a huge Saxon fan. I collect anything by him, so very glad to receive that. This is kind of bizarre. These next two are kind of interesting because I'm not a big fan of like best of albums for the most part. I mean, I do like some of them. Shouldn't say I don't like them. I just don't listen to them as much as like the regular albums. But this one here was a great listen, and I got it for a smoking deal. 2-album set, the best of Annihilator. I'm just going to read the songs on here. It's all mostly early stuff, but Crystal Ann, Alice in Hell, WTYD, Wicked Mystic, Word Salad, Phantasmagoria, Human Insecticide Live, so it's a live version of that, The Fun Palace, Road to Ruin, Stonewall, Never Neverland, Imperiled Eyes, In Command, I Am in Command Live, Set the World on Fire, No Zone, Phoenix Rising, and Brain Dance. So a great listing of this thing. Nice gatefold. I think this is just on black vinyl if I'm not mistaken, but it is printed on a really nice uncoated stock, which I really liked. It's got lots of liner notes, so lots of reading material for you as you're reading it. Some cool pictures of the band as well. I can't remember if it was on black vinyl or not. I usually buy the black vinyl if it's available. Black vinyl seems to be in the minority these days. No, it's kind of a grayish silver color. But yeah, I'm a huge Annihilator fan. There's one of those bands I really do collect anything they put out. I've got odd CD singles and compilations and live albums and bootlegs. I just love Annihilator. So this has been out for a little while, and I knew I was going to pick it up eventually, but I was just waiting to get it at a good price, and I finally did. And this is music on vinyl, and I have no idea how many they're pressed, but they are numbered. This is 1062. I have no idea what that number means. Anyhow, the best of Annihilator. And then this is the best of Lizzy Borden. And now this is part 1. Part 2 I've got ordered, will be coming soon. Part 2 is a little more interesting than part 1. First of all, this part 1 is crappy. It just doesn't have any... let's put it this way. I love Lizzy Borden. I have everything by him, but I never bought this best of collection. It's been around for decades, but there's just nothing on it. I mean, there's nothing new to it. Everything is, you know, on the other albums. It's not even a gatefold. I mean, what you see here is what you get. And so, I don't know. But I'm such a completist. I just wanted to get this Lizzy Borden album in the collection, especially because the Volume 2 came out. So I couldn't have Volume 2 and not have Volume 1. That's probably, it sounds crazy, but that's me. But Me Against the World, American Metal, Notorious, Master of Disguise, Psychopath, Eyes of a Stranger, Red Rum Live, Ultraviolence, Live and Let Die Live. Yeah, that is the cover song of that. Give 'Em the Axe, Love Kills, Love is a Crime, Lord of the Flies, and Rod of Iron. And it's a studio version of Rod of Iron. But yeah, I always loved the logo. Really cool. You can get this for rather inexpensively. This is also a recent reissue. Metal Blade and reissued Sounds. This one came out in 2020, this year. It looks like 2025. So yeah, these things are in abundance. You can get them for about $24, $25 is what I'm seeing these things run for. And it is a double album set, but like I said, it doesn't have... it's not a gatefold, so there's not a whole lot here to show, but Volume 2 promises to be very cool, because Volume 2 takes off where this one left off, but it has some, like, rarity tracks on there, and it's got a few exclusive tracks that were recorded specifically and put on that album, which is great. So I'm looking forward to Volume 2. That one will be a gatefold. I've seen the artwork, and it also has... let's see, two Blue Oyster Cult covers, and then it has a Ramones cover on there. It's also got some tracks off the Forgotten Starwood album, which is a great album that half the world doesn't seem to know about. But moving on. Don't you already have that Ted Nugent album? Of course I do. But I got this. I was just sitting there watching TV with my wife one night, and I'm just sitting there scrolling through eBay, and this copy came up for $20 with free shipping. Oh, for a Japanese pressing of a Ted Nugent record, I'm all over that. So, yep, Cat Scratch Fever, Ted Nugent, 1977, I believe this came out. And $20 and sounds superb. Played the whole thing already. There's nothing too extra special about it, other than it's a Japanese pressing. It has the obi strip on the outside, as you can see. But it also has, it's just like the, it's similar to the U.S. pressing. It's got the, the center, and then of course the full picture of Ted here, and then it's got the little extra Japanese lyric sleeve with the Japanese lyrics and a little bio on there. Of course, I can't read most of it because most of it is in Japanese, and I have no idea. But the lyrics are actually in English, which is cool. But anyhow, I'm always looking for Japanese pressings. Doesn't matter who it is. Here's the Epic Center label. Especially stuff from my favorite bands. I love the Japanese pressings. I don't know what it is about them. The obi strips, the extra stuff, the sound quality. There's just something special about those. So, and Ted Nugent, he's one of those guys. I have multiple copies of a lot of different records because I just love them so much. All right, we got 1, 2, 3 left. Outlaws, Playing to Win. Just one that I didn't have in my collection. I heard this thing a million times back in the day. Has a couple of hit songs on it, and Take It Away, Take It Any Way You Want It, and You Are the Show. Those two songs were pretty popular Outlaws tracks. But this, I couldn't pass this one up. This thing was so... I mean, first of all, it's an original pressing. I'm not sure how well it's going to show, but the original pressing, it's not going to show on here. So the mask itself, do you see here the silver mask? It has a... Even glaring, it doesn't really help. It has a spot varnish on it, so it's a varnished cover to begin with, so it's on a glossy stock. But then they put an extra spot varnish on top of that silver. So in certain lighting, especially when I put it up in my record wrap, you can really see the how this thing shines. But I just don't know that I can get that effect on here. But yeah, anyhow, it's a great record. It's classic, you know, classic rock, southern rock. Just, you know, good stuff. I like the Outlaws. Didn't, you know, I would never claim them to be, you know, my favorite band of all time, but I definitely like southern rock, and the Outlaws are one of the bands that I enjoy. So, yeah, cool cover art too. I always thought it was, you know, kind of a nice cover. All right, next up we got a 12-inch single from Foghat. This is Slipped, Tripped, Fell in Love from the In the Mood for Something Rude album. Same song on both sides. It was sent out to radio stations mostly. That was it. That's what it was for. Back in 1982 when the In the Mood for Something Rude album came out, Foghat were definitely not on the same level that they were in the 70s, right up through like 1979 when Boogie Motel came out. They just didn't have the hits on the albums that came before it. You know, Tight Shoes, Girls, To Chat, and Boys to Bounce. They just didn't, you know, they just didn't do much. So they decided to put out another. They kind of had a more 80s vibe. You know, they were kind of very clean produced. They just didn't have the raw rock and roll sound that Foghat had done in the years before. So within the Mood for Something Rude, they decided to take a bunch of tracks, very, you know, underground, deep cuts that they liked of different bands from the past, and do cover songs. Most people don't even know they're cover songs because these tracks are, you know, like I said, were kind of all deep cuts that, you know, people didn't know about. But the label had pretty much given up on them. They didn't do any promotion for that album. Well, finally they decided to put this little 12-inch single out to send to the radios to get airplay. It didn't really work, unfortunately, because they came back the very next year with Zigzag Walk, which in 1983, which was another, you know, very polished, glossy album, and didn't have anything like, you know, the stuff that they were doing in the 70s. Regardless, just I'm a Foghat fan. It's a cool single. You know, it's got obviously a picture sleeve cover with the cool looking Foghat logo on there, and I just always thought the story was kind of cool about In the Mood for Something Rude, and I myself, being a huge Foghat fan, even when I was, you know, growing up in the 80s, I had no idea those were cover songs. I found out many years later that all those songs were cover songs. So anyway, that's it. Just a cool collectible for the Foghat fan, and that's the story behind the single. And then the last one is from the Stones, and this thing came out a couple years ago, I think, what, 2020. Yeah, I think it came out in like 2023. Anyhow, this is Hackney Diamonds. I've been in a Stones mood for the last, I don't know, 6 months and been listening to my whole Stones collection. I really only had up and through the early 80s stuff with Tattoo You. After that, I had nothing. But a friend of mine, my good buddy Ben, who lives in Austria, he's like, dude, you really need to check out Hackney Diamonds. I think you'll like it. It's a great album. So I did. I found a cheap copy online. You can find multiple different cover versions of this. The other one that I got, the original one I got, has a pink heart instead of this blue heart. But then I was, again, just scrolling around, looking online, and I found this copy, which was released a year later. It's the 2 LP anniversary edition on clear and blue splatter vinyl, and includes a live show on the second album. So it's got live at Racket, New York City, 10/19/23, and the listing for that one is Shattered, Angry, Whole World Wide, Tumbling Dice, Bite My Head Off, Jumpin' Jack Flash, and Sweet Sounds of Heaven, which comes off this album, and that's the song that features Lady Gaga on this album, which is one of the reasons I kind of like, I don't understand these rock and roll bands bringing these pop bands onto their albums. Aerosmith did the same thing and just kind of, I don't know. Anyhow, it's not as bad as it sounds. Lady Gaga does a good job on the song, and it's pretty cool. So anyhow, I picked this one up. I just got it in. It is still sealed. I haven't even opened it yet. So I thought maybe we'd do a quick live opening at the end of this video and check it out. And I take the interesting enough, this was, I can tell you exactly what record plant this was pressed at because of the sticker on the back. All right, it's got the Made in Czech Republic sticker on the back, which means this thing came to A to Z Media in the Czech Republic, which is one of the biggest, largest record plants in the world. You know, I work for a bunch of record companies, so I've worked with many different record plants, and that's one of the ones I have worked with. So, super nice people over there, and they do a great work. All right, so there you go. It is a gatefold. Okay, check it out. It is a gatefold, and it's got if I can get this in the picture and hold it up at the same time. But it's got this big old book inside of it. Of the band, pictures of the band. Hard to believe these guys are still kicking, man. I mean, it's amazing that these guys who abused themselves so poorly in the past, so much in the past, that they're still kicking and putting out good music. So, lyrics, yeah, you get the idea. More photographs. Kind of hard to hold this thing and turn the pages. And more lyrics. More photos. But you get the idea. There's more pages here. Nice live shot. Credits. And then it's on this, I mean, you can get this on any number of different color vinyl. You can even get baseball teams on the front cover. I've seen all kinds of crazy crap for this album. But, yeah, clear vinyl with a blue splatter, which I'm assuming is why they made the heart on the cover blue as opposed to the pink heart that was on the original album. But great, anyhow, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't even heard the live album yet, so maybe one of you guys have and can tell me what you think. All I know is that I was very much looking forward to listening to that as well as the album again. It also has an inner sleeve inside of it, which they don't have the record in. So it's got the original inner sleeve, I think. But the record is actually in a black poly sleeve instead. So whatever, I don't care. It keeps the records clean and it keeps the sleeves from splitting. But frankly, they should have just done a 12 by 12 insert. And here's the insert for the live album. But like I said, note the record actually comes in a polyline sleeve. So it's really nice package, and it was very inexpensive. It was, I can't remember the exact price. Maybe $24, $24.99. Might even be less than that. I don't remember. But anyhow, it's very heavy as well. Heavyweight vinyl plus the book and the inserts, and it's a heavy package. So there you go. Rolling Stones, Hackney Diamond, 1 year anniversary, 2 LP gatefold edition. Anyhow, that's it for this this edition of Rock Metal Update. Definitely appreciate you all watching, and leave a message below if you would. I love reading your message. I try to respond to everybody. Even if you just say hello, I'm still reading your message and liking it. So that's it. Thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. Make sure you check out the Metal Roundtable every Tuesday on my channel. And that's it. God bless. Stay strong. Up next, this is Roxy! Roxy! All right, next up, this is Foghat, kind of a promo 12-inch single, kind of a unique one in that, well, this was for the album that came out in 1982 called In the Mood for Something Rude.